Greg Vanney, head coach of Toronto FC, joining us. Greg, welcome home, sir. I know your work isn't done, but how did it feel like to come home after playing just 4 games at home the entire 2020? Must have felt good.
Well, first off, hello guys. Good to talk to you again. It feels great being at home. I got, just to be around the family, to be able to, we've been given the exemption to be able to get to our training facility, to train every day, to be on our fields, to be at our facility. It's been amazing. And because we haven't been at our fields all year, basically, they're in beautiful condition. Obviously the weather the last few days has been, better than we could probably ask for. And so, it's been nice. And, we had a good season. It didn't finish the way we wanted it to exactly. So it's been nice to come home to kind of recharge the batteries and get our playoff mindset, right. And give ourselves a little bit of time between now and the first game to get going.
That first game that Greg is referring to is November the 24th. Opposition not yet determined. But Greg, you mentioned to get an exemption to come home, and I quite frankly, I don't know how much this has been talked about nationally, and I'd like to kind of dig in with you a little bit. TFC returned home, and you can train under what's called the modified work quarantine. What does that mean? Where can you go? How often can you train, et cetera, et cetera? Because I have a feeling, Greg, some other sports teams in Canada might be really interested. I know the Impact are currently doing this, but let's say some hockey teams, let's say some basketball, let's say a basketball team in particular. What does this mean, and how are you working through it?
Well, first off, I don't know all of the constraints and the rules behind what we're able to do. I know what we do, but I wasn't in the negotiation and the discussion. So I probably will be leaving some things out that I shouldn't be leaving out, but I just don't know enough. But in terms of us, we train once a day at our training facility. Other than that, we are at our homes. We are not supposed to go anywhere else. We've extended our quarantine between our home, our respective homes, and our training facility. We're obviously on a very strict testing regimen every day or other day, depending on our schedule, in which obviously we are constantly testing, and knock on wood, we have tested negative as an entire team and entire staff for the whole year. So we're under a very strict testing regimen, but it extends our bubble, if you will, to our training facility and our home. And once we finish training, then we're supposed to go back home. And then when we leave our homes, we go straight to the training facility. And that's basically all we have at our disposal. But for us to prepare for the playoffs, that's what we need, I guess.
Have you gotten used to the testing yet, Greg? Like, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
I haven't done it yet, so I'm going to knock on wood. I hope I don't have to do it, but.
Yeah, I don't think any of us think twice about it. I would be lying if I didn't say I've tested for sure 100 plus times at this point. And the testing has gotten a little better. Initially, it started really high up in the nose, and then it's kind of come down a little bit, which has made it a little more comfortable. But yeah, I think most of us we just go sit in the chair, we tip our head back, we take it, and we just move on. So that's kind of where we're at now. Yeah.
I was bringing up, sorry.
I just want to say, I had something dumb to add. I did get tested the one time, but the mistake I made was I went into the deviated septum part of my nose.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, to try and get it out was like trying to man mark Pozuelo. It was difficult. It was very, very difficult.
Yeah.
But anyway, it does get a little easier after a while, I would assume. But for 10 minutes afterwards, you do kind of feel it a little bit. It's unique. Unique is the best way.
Yeah, I think I figured out the right angle and the way to kind of open up my nostrils in a way that it just hasn't been as invasive and painful as it initially was. Or
That's
either that
move.
or testing has just gotten better. So figuring out how to do it is the key there.
Half the battle. Listen, I mentioned this off the top, and you've had some great years, and I know it didn't really finish the way you wanted it to. And as a coach, you're constantly worrying about what you are doing in the moment and what the team is doing in the moment and how to improve that. But like, you won a title, you had a coach of the year. Given all that went into this year and how banged up you've been, and there's plenty of work left to do, I understand that. Have you been able to process what you did accomplish this year with this group?
A little, but I think you alluded to, there's still unfinished business. We haven't won, a trophy yet this year. And we had 3 of them to play for. Now we have 2. Right. But yeah, I think it's easy this year to recognize the challenges that we've encountered. And I've said this before, I think everybody across the globe has encountered real challenges this year. I think just as it relates to our team and our world, right. It's been an extremely unique year. And, trying to manage a group of guys who have been phenomenal this year in their mentality and mindset, but they're away from home while their families are challenged back home, and try to keep them focused on getting results and performing and trying to keep, we were together every single day for, essentially for months, and to keep them from battling each other and just getting sick of each other, but actually performing. Like there were a lot of challenges that we endured. And I know the Montreal guys and Vancouver guys all felt those same challenges, but we were able to do it in a way to continue to be successful. I would say it was probably the most difficult season in terms of variables that we've had to overcome to have a good season. And every year has been different, but this year for sure has had its real challenges.
Greg Vanney, head coach of Toronto FC here on Tim and Sid. Their first playoff game is scheduled for November 24th. But just to piggyback off that, Greg, in terms of some of the challenges that, quite frankly, I don't even think Tim and I talk about enough, how it's a victory just to not have all the guys kill each other when you're that sequestered for that period of time.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at your team, when you look at what was accomplished here, who helped you the most in the room, at the hotels, on the field? Like who would you say is a peacemaker, so to speak? Like who do you lean on to kind of make sure everyone's, because it happens. We're human beings. You're a family, and families fight. Like who would turn the temperature down when needed, would you say?
So there are a lot of important people in this, and my staff and the players, and we all have a good relationship. But for me, there's one person in particular who makes it all tick so that there aren't major issues. And that's our team admin is Ted too. And Ted makes sure that everybody has everything that they need and that their families need. And he has a support team and people that he's working with. But if everybody is comfortable and has what they need, then it brings the level of angst down. And when there isn't angst and concern and then there's less sort of battling or fighting or guys who are concerns. And Ted is incredible, the best in the league at being able to take care of guys and make sure that he's helping me and do our schedules and do all that stuff, but also making sure and helping families to have what they need. And there are other people who help Ted as well, but he's extraordinary and our guys love him. And I think Ted could get away with a lot and guys would still be great to him, but he's been incredible this year.
I've worked with a pro team before, and people don't understand how much goes into that role. Like
Very
people
true.
have no idea at home how just keeping people happy can be a remarkably tough job. So
we had days. Sorry, guys. We had days where we didn't know where it was 10 o'clock at night the night before, and we didn't know where we were going to train the next day. Because, for example, the university or the college that we were going to train at had a COVID outbreak and they shut it down on us, and we need to figure out where we were going to train. And Ted, along with the help of Bill and others that were there, like they had to go find a place. And, otherwise, if you take a bunch of pro guys and you don't know where they're going to train, they're going to lose their minds. And so it's these kinds of things. And he was a big support of that. And obviously he has a team that he's working with that help us. But
I don't want to be I don't want to be the guy on payroll, Greg, to tell Josie that we don't have a field right now. I'll let you know. Like, I don't want to be.
Fair point.
I don't want to be that guy. Go ahead, Timmy.
And if you need it, I got a dude who's an assistant coach at the University of Hartford. So let me know if you ever need a place to train. We got you covered. The first playoff game in your home, away from home in Hartford.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you'll get the winner of the play-in game, which could be Montreal. Is it kind of 2020 that you would get Montreal in Hartford in your first postseason game?
That would be very 2020 to play that kind of game out of Canada and and not a random place, but in a neutral site and with no fans, essentially. Yeah, that would be 2020. So, and we've already played them. I feel like we've played them 5 times this year already, even though it wasn't just so recent. It is very possible. They have a good team. They have a matchup that I think they can possibly win. So it's possible. The other game is if Nashville beats Miami, we would play Nashville. So we have 3 possibilities for us. The only team we can't play is Miami. So we'll see. It's we have a 1 in 3 chance to be in a matchup against Montreal.
Greg, finally, I mean, you guys have been in Connecticut and you've been through a lot here. The one positive I'm really pulling from this, because you are in Connecticut, the Hartford Whalers Old Track, the Brass Bonanza, has been playing after you guys have scored in Connecticut, and it's been playing a lot because you had a good run. May I propose the idea, and you're the guy to talk to, when you guys return permanently to BMO, I'm thinking of what the South End would do if this plays after a goal. And I'm trying to play it on my phone, and it's not playing. Well, that worked. Let me try that again. There we go.
Okay.
Picture this, Greg. Pozuelo has a brace. You're up 4-1 on Inter Miami. No? You don't like the idea?
Yeah. Well, if our fans are into it, I'm into it. I could see people starting to jump up and down to the beat and chanting. So I think it has some legs. If it's something our fans are interested in, then anything that gets them going, I'm interested in it, because that energy then translates back to the guys. So I to be honest with you, we've scored and they've played that. I have not noticed it one time. I'm not sure why.
Well, you're in the game. I'm not surprised by that. You're zoning in.
You're zoned in.
Yeah. Focus. Right.
It's just old guys like us who used to watch the Hartford Whalers and know what that was their old goal song.
Okay,
and
that makes sense.
They've added it in for the. Hey, listen, I can't wait for the time when, no matter what the goal song is, that you're back in that stadium with those fans and cheering, because it is one of the special scenes in Canadian sports. Thanks for doing this, and in all honesty, it's been fun talking to you throughout this.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Take care.